I'm a gentrifier, and many of you are as well. I'm Daniel from Illinois, and I want to talk about how outsiders can approach gentrification. Let's start with the facts. Gentrification is inevitable when investment hits a neighborhood. Think of it as a game of city planning. You have a group of 16 houses, 80 people max, and also factor in that there's the infrastructure is not as good as built as right now. And you have investment that comes in with the expected number of twice the amount of people, but half the amount of houses. So when the money pours in, that helps support the infrastructure, but also helps with revenue control and the quality of life overall. The price of living is going to change, and that's going to cause a lot of the locals to move out. And due to this demand, these are the kind of specific effects that will happen in this society. First, people are going to be displaced because of the pricey rent, because of the communities that are being formed. There's the franchises, there's bike lanes, there's a more younger demographic, and there's new names for old neighborhoods. And we certainly can't save, in this kind of sense, I think what's inevitable is that I think the displacement of people due to pricey rent and the inclusion of bike lanes and a much safer neighborhood is kind of inevitable in many ways when we think about gentrification and the way we think investment's going to move in. But we also have to think, but what we can change and save is the remembrance of the local culture. Because local culture, history, they're all tied together in this war. Normally, when gentrification comes up, the meeting points that we usually think about are franchises like Starbucks, coffee, these coffee shops that are often connotated with these hipster trends are the symbol of gentrification. But what's a more important, I think, more potent form of symbolism of gentrification is a grocery market, because of the way that they function. They function to serve a lot of communities. They serve both the local cuisine, but they also try to serve the Asian community. They also serve the other communities that arrive in this neighborhood. Now let's focus on bags as well. Bags is a universal concept, but what changes bag is the branding, and the shape is universal. And I wanted to play around with the idea of a bag. But in order to do this, we need a situation. So let's take Lisbon, Portugal, for example, where digital nomads are creating gentrification in the areas within the cities and are forcing locals to move out because of the rent. Because of this, we have two different kind of factors going on. Let's take number one, Jeffrey. But now let's also compare that with Catalina. So how do we reassess this? And I also want to mention that her story kind of includes how her family owned the business, but it's now shut down because they couldn't pay the rent. So how do we solve this? Relating to tote bags, I want to kind of create a discussion piece on how do we share our culture with other people. And in this case, imagine a tote bag where everything is customizable and you come with the set expectation of your culture. So if a newcomer comes in as a digital nomad, they'll look at a local bag and realize maybe these are the things I should be investing in, because a lot of times it's a good indication of what they will follow through and what's trendy or hipster is up to how the digital nomads come in with an open mindset and what they experience and what they see. And so this is what we see, right? So if we have these two bags and they see they're supporting a certain team, then they will be ingrained into that culture and be more in tune with it. By doing so, I believe we can create a more mixed culture that respects the local presence and create a more mixed environment for people to thrive in. And I believe that is my temporary solution to gentrification, and I hope we can discuss more of this in class. Thanks so much.